Hey everybody, how's it going? A new impossible quest was dropped and it features AizenMyouou, or in English it looks like it is called Ragaraja. I'm pretty sure I didn't pronounce that right, but that's alright. Um, the party I've brought along for this clear video is Moo, King Bradley, Chio, and Benzaiten. And as you can see on the stage, all of the gimmicks that you need to worry about are present. You see magic circles, gravity barriers, and needle panels. So needle panels, they do hurt a decent amount. As you can see, it does hit you for about 4,500 damage. And some of them are collapsible once you get rid of those monsters that have skulls on them. So on top of that, once you clear out the monsters with skulls, these skulls you see on the bottom of the screen now will come on to the battlefield, and they will attack up your team. So you want to hit them first, such that you can power up your team, because the bosses in this stage have a minimum damage threshold. So if you don't meet that damage count, you will do absolutely no damage to the boss. Now, there are some exceptions here, which is why certain characters are super useful for this stage. Chio, of course, has the Dark Slayer, so she is able to... you don't need to hit that skull. I kind of forget that a few times, but for those who have the Slayer ability, in general, they can just go straight for the boss and deal damage. And that is great in general. I mean, to clean up, to deal damage, and you don't have to travel very far to have to worry about hitting those magic circles, because at least in my box, the only character that had both gravity barriers and no magic circle was King Bradley. And as you saw, once you clear the boss, he fires off, or I guess AizenMyouou is a she, maybe. She will fire off a attack down blast. So for the first turn on the next stage, you are a little bit incapacitated. So even more reason that Slayers, light Slayers like Benzaiten and Chio will come in handy for. Beelzebub's great too. I believe he is a Slayer for a bunch of the monsters on this stage as well. However, there's one downside to him, which I used I think just once, but his strike shot is great. It makes you invincible, but since it is a barrier, it will protect your monsters from the attack up bonus from the skulls, which are pretty key to the stage. So but yeah, as you can see, there are going to be speed up walls here, and just keep in mind that there are certain needle panels that will not go down even when you kill the monsters with the skulls. So while the speed up walls are great because you can do extra damage, you just gotta make sure you think about your pathing such that you don't suffer too much damage from them. Overall, the damage output from the monsters on the stage is not that bad. Now, let me preface that by saying that if you let the monsters get their big cooldown off, you will die. So you don't have all the time in the world, but the wolf guys on the bottom left, bottom right, you saw earlier, they are healing everybody. So you want to get rid of them as quick as possible, but they do have a somewhat long countdown. It does a small blast. It doesn't do lethal amounts of damage. So while you could leave them up, if you get the opportunity to dish damage on the boss, that is certainly an option. But taking out those wolves as soon as possible, gachas? I can never remember their names. Viseron in English. Getting rid of them early, of course, helps save you time. Now, like I was saying, the pre-evo form of AizenMyouou there has that big counter in the middle, 10. Make sure you clear it in 10 turns. But of course, first you want to take out the little, I don't even remember what their names are, but the little guys with the blue skulls. You want to get rid of them ASAP, because they will allow you to drop down the skulls, which lets you attack the boss, and it drops down most of the needle panels. Again, the needle panels hurt 4,500 per crossing. Yeah. And of course, you know, the magic circles are going to be a pain in the butt. I would prioritize them probably if you can. I don't know how many monsters out there are. No, sorry. I wouldn't prioritize the magic circles. You need the gravity barriers, of course. Without them, you're not going to be able to move around. You need to be able to, for most monsters, hit the skulls and then get to the boss to dish out damage. That's why somebody like Moo is great for this stage, because his bump combo with the all enemy poison meteor, not only does it help, you know, clear off maybe some of the minions on the stage with the poison, but because it hits everybody, it guarantees to hit the skulls. And by hitting the skulls, you can see that attack up blast has a pretty big radius on it. So since that radius is pretty big, you can get your other monsters to take advantage of the power up. And if they get that power up, like Benzai 10 here, you can just go directly for the boss and dish out damage. Now, unfortunately, at the end, Benzai 10 turned into a chicken, so you know you lose some of that damage bonus. And oh, look at that! That Moo got the critical damage in to be able to take out that huge chunk of HP from AizenMyouou. Very nice. All right, stage 4. Again, you can see that the blue skulls are pinchable, so you can get in there, kill them in one shot, and again calls down the skull, deactivates a bunch of the needle panels, and now just focus down on the gachas, Vizarons. Now again, if you find the opportunity to pinch the boss, take it. The amount of healing that the gachas do isn't super significant. Now it is an annoying level of healing, but it is ignorable if you can find the opportunity to dish damage. Right here, I was hoping to cross that magic circle, get into the wall, and then just, you know, bam, 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 do a lot of Slayer damage with Benzai 10. Didn't work out. Again, Benzai 10 does not have no gravity barrier, so do keep that in mind if you bring along Benzai 10. But Benzai 10's Slayer ability is more than enough to make up for the lack of gravity barrier. I wouldn't do more than one, just because that, you know, that would end up limiting your movements a lot. But yeah, it's a very interesting stage. I think I like it. I don't know yet. Of course, Chio's strike shot, every time you hit a wall, it increases her attack, so you can get a lot of damage off of there. And like I think, you don't necessarily need to hit the skull before doing damage for Chio and Benzai 10. But of course, you'll do even more damage if you do so. If you find that opportunity and it makes sense, go for it. If you want to be a little safer, that's fine too. And again, once you clear the stage, that debuff goes off, so it's a clever way to clear off your monsters. So there's no way you can just like pre-buff your team so that you can get that extra damage to go on the next stage. Now, this stage, I want you to pay attention that there are spikes on top of the night boss there. That's not AizenMyouou, right? But I actually missed that here. And as you can see, I'm eating a lot of damage. Wow, I made a very bad diagonal attack there that made me go over those sets of panels on the corners as well as on top of the mini boss there. But oh well, we were able to clear off the blue skull so that the majority of the spikes went down, and getting that skull up so that we can start dealing damage. But yeah, tried to go in under the knight there. Unfortunately, did not make a successful run out of that. However, the good thing is we've got Benzai 10 back to her normal form, so her bump combos can dish out full damage. Now, Moon Strike Shot, I would suggest against using unless you really want to clear off a minion. It is a effective way to do that, given that You know, if you find yourself lagging behind, or you just feel like you just want to get rid of it, and nobody else in front of you is going to have that opportunity to take out that monster, that's when I would use the strike shot. But you would definitely not want to use it against the boss or the mini boss here, because I do not think that the homing blasts have enough damage to cross that threshold to actually deal damage to the boss. Alright, it's been 10 minutes. We finally made it to the boss. It is a long quest for sure. First things first, try to pinch those blue skulls so that you can get rid of them and bring out the skull that will attack up your team. Gonna try and sneak my way in there. Luckily I didn't kill the single one, because you know there is a pinchable opportunity. You want to use that pinchable chance, and the guide here is a godsend. As you can see, there is a single pixel that will let me get in there, and luckily my hand didn't twitch at the end so that it lost the perfect angle there. So great, we have 9 turns before we can we die. So let's try and get rid of all these little guys. Again, if you find the opportunity to dish direct damage, that is certainly an opportunity you can take, but you know, given this is what, it's already been an hour into the stage, you know, you want to probably clear out these little guys before they do too much more damage to you. I do believe the knight will put even more gravity barriers up if you leave them up too long. Of course, the gachas on the bottom is going to be healing everybody. And oh yes, well, I don't know which counter was the gravity barriers, but I mean, ideally your team is mainly null gravity monsters, hopefully. Again, magic circles are annoying, but at least well, with some planning you should be okay. And that was a pretty bad turn. I was probably hoping to get rid of that knight, but like I was saying, the attacks for those minions aren't too bad. It can hurt if you are stacked, because not only does that carry over to both, you're essentially quadrupling the damage that you would have normally got, because you get hit, the other one gets hit, and then vice versa for both. So take care, and don't do this where you see that pinch opportunity but you're not attacked up. Again, you're not passing that threshold, so you're not going to be able to do the damage that you need to actually contribute damage, right? If you don't do enough, you're not going to dish anything. It turns it into a scorpion level. So, however, like Chio, with that Slayer ability, you're good to dish direct damage. So I mean, this, you just got to keep your monster straight, know their abilities, and know if you need to hit a skull or you can do direct damage. Bendai-ten can do direct damage, so she's in a great opportunity to turn her back into her normal self and take out 2 minions at once. And luckily Moo is in the perfect position there to pinch the last blue skull off so that we get the skull up. And now if we can get rid of that gachas on the top right, we have full dedicated attention to AizenMyouou. And let me also warn you that you should probably make sure that you avoid bringing any monsters that have the knockout able berry. If you knock out one of those blue skull mons and it prevents you from getting that attack up skull, that's pretty much GG. I mean, unless you are full of a team with slayers, there's no way you're gonna get past this stage, and even then it might be a little difficult. But here we go, we've got all of the other minions gone from the stage, so now we can focus 6 more turns directly on AizenMyouou, and that really does give you the leeway, comfortableness. I don't know. The fact that you're not in a rush is going to be super helpful, right? You don't want to have to worry about too many things. You've got extra gravity barriers, you've got extra what else gets in the way? I forget. Well, extra damage, less damage to worry about is always a good thing. So yeah, but other viable monsters, what else did I see? I think Apocalypse, if you're able to clear that stage, should be a great monster for this stage. Skill set's really good. I think I saw a bunch of Jekyll and Hydes. Goemon, if you got him from the Legends. Sorry, her from Legends. You should be able to do that this stage nicely with those attacks. And look at that. Everybody has their strike shots ready for the final stage. You can't ask anything better than that. Now, again, first, pinch those monsters to get the blue skulls off the stage. You will get the skull in the middle of the stage as well. And then you can start cleaning up. Now notice that unlike the other stages, right, the boss doesn't have the skull, so it doesn't activate the power down. So you do get one turn of free reign with the power up bonus. So you could stock up the attack up during the boss stages. I don't know for the last stage only though, but keep that in mind. Again, Chio has a great opportunity, even with the attack down, to take out that gotchas on the top left, and luckily enough had enough speed to go to the bottom right to take both of them out. Great, no more healing. Bendai 10, sure, why not? Might as well take advantage. And since the strike shot will be able to ignore the gravity barriers, lets her give that movement that she sorely needs. So here we go. Perfect situation. All of the non-boss characters are gone. Everybody is around the skull. Maybe Chio's a little bit too far off. I don't know. The range is pretty big for the blast. Just good enough. And everybody's good to move. Now, if somebody was left over, I probably would have used Moo's strike shot there, but luckily that wasn't necessary. Bradley, sure, pure damage. Let's do it. Now, if you have noticed, the stage has no weak points at all, so his extra bonus of dealing extra damage to the weak point doesn't really help, but as you can see, that matters nothing because that pure damage... Thank you very much. And Chio's strike shot, saw it before, extra damage as you bump off the wall, and getting that blast just before she got in there to give her an extra boost even. Now, sure, some might say you should have hit the wall off the bottom first to get up there, but I wanted to make sure I wedged in there, so I wasn't going to take that chance. Just go directly in there, and there you go. Now, my King Bradley isn't max lucked, so I couldn't get any bonuses off of that. But if for those of you who were able to go through that torture back then, he's a great character for this stage. And the V meter, 2 non-drops, but first clear gives you 2 orbs. How are Impossible still only giving you 2 orbs? Come on. And a drop for the first clear. Whew. There you go. AizenMyouou. It looks... I don't know. The character looks great in her Evo form. She looks really great as well. Not sure what her skill set looks like. Let's see. We've got no gravity barrier with no wind and no block. That's a pretty solid set of abilities. But yeah, there you go. AizenMyouou. Tough, but I think fair. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and again, I guess let's feature some other stuff that I'm doing. So on Twitter, if you have not heard from the last video, you can follow me and SF. We are trying to get out news updates to you in a Twitter form, so follow that. ENGmonst, I think was the name. Yeah, ENGmonst. You can find the link on the bottom, as well as Scott Knack YT, if you want to get the latest updates to my videos. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye bye.